You're tuning into Black and White Sports on YouTube. The no-holds-barred truth on sports. The main event starts now.
Welcome to blackwhitenetwork.com. We're running a sale, guys. 15% off everything in the merch store, including our new Freedom shirt with the bald eagle on the front. And of course, our best-selling shirt is our America 250 Bald Eagle Edition shirt with the America 250 flag on the back. We also have hats, our Patriot 1776 shirt. We have our hoodies, zip-up hoodies, other hats as well, including coffee mugs. Also, memberships are available on the website. $10 a month. When you sign up, you get a 7-day free trial. You can also save money by getting the annual plan. You get member videos, also access to our Friday member stream that we have every single Friday. If you would like to donate to us, you can do it directly on the website. $5, $10, $20, whatever you guys want to give. We do appreciate the support. Well, guys, ever since 2020, the NFL has been telling us to end racism. Yes, they actually have those slogans in the end zones at NFL games. And you would actually think, guys, after pretty much 6 years of putting in racism in the end zones, that the NFL would actually end racism. However, even though they were telling you to end racism, and by putting those slogans in the end zones, guess what? The NFL was actually being racist when it came to their hiring practices, folks. Yes, everybody knows about the Rooney Rule, but you may not have known very much about this mandate, and it was a mandate, folks, that NFL teams, they actually had to hire, by mandate, an offensive assistant. If you're white, oh no, you can't get hired. Funny, guys, how that works. The NFL tells you to end racism while at the same time they're racist themselves. You cannot make this up. Well, we got some news, folks. Because in the state of Florida, James Uthmeyer, the attorney general out there in Florida, he's not playing games with the NFL. We found out something, folks, that the NFL, at least according to them anyway, they ended a racist hiring practice that they implemented back in, I believe, like 2022. And it's all coming out now because the state of Florida is coming after the NFL for other racist hiring practices, folks. So let's go ahead and dive into this, guys. Here we go. So right over here, ESPN. NFL ended minority offensive assistant mandate before 2025 season. Really? So before the start of last season, they ended this. Are we sure about that? But this is according to the NFL. So ESPN writes here, the NFL ended a mandate that all 32 teams hire a minority coach as an offensive assistant ahead of the 2025 season, and not because of recent pressure from Florida Attorney General James Uthmeyer, who on Wednesday issued an investigative subpoena to the league over his hiring practices. Yeah, we actually get to that, okay? But Uthmeyer, by the way, back in March, because I actually did a video on this, he was going after the NFL for the Rooney Rule. Okay? Now, the Rooney Rule is a race-based hiring practice, which seems to me to be very, very illegal. Okay? But look right here. Because it says here, Uthmeyer, who in March threatened potential civil rights action against the NFL over the league's Rooney Rule, said Wednesday the NFL had changed diversity language on its website and that it had capitulated on some of their discriminatory hiring quotas, while arguing the revisions raised new questions about the policy. He also took credit for the league ending the program to increase minority representation in assistant coaching ranks, a program starting in 2022 after former coach Brian Flores sued the league. Yeah. But ESPN learned of the league ending a mandate for this program this past winter. Quote, the NFL now contends, apparently in response to our letter, that the NFL has sunset this mandate, the letter reads. Given the NFL's history of open discrimination, however, we are skeptical that the mandate is no longer in place. And like the Rooney Rule, it violates Florida law. Yeah, you shouldn't be interviewing people based on race. You shouldn't be getting jobs based on race. And the NFL, man, they have a real problem with this, folks. A real problem. It's illegal to actually do that. Look here. Despite the NFL recently acknowledging the end of the program to Uthmeyer, Jonathan Bean, the NFL's senior vice president for league leadership and inclusion, really? That's really a position? All right. Resisted that characterization in an interview in March. He said the league office funding was never meant to be permanent. The league had been reimbursing clubs for half of the salaries of coaches hired via the program. Wow. This is crazy, guys. Remember, the NFL was also given like draft picks if you actually hired like a minority coach or GM, something like that. It is crazy. But in the state of Florida, man, Florida is not playing games with the NFL. They're now subpoenaing the NFL because they're launching a probe here on the Rooney Rule and other DEI programs. Now, of course, you got Tampa Bay Bucks in the state of Florida. You also have the Miami Dolphins in the state of Florida. And in Florida, man, I talked about this on other channels. They're not playing games. They actually get things done. You cannot have any race-based hiring in the state of Florida. Can't do it, man. I mean, if you guys have been actually paying attention to politics, you guys know that like race-based districts, when it comes to politics, over with. Supreme Court said, nah, you can't do that. That's unconstitutional. There should be no racism in the United States. No racism when it actually comes to hiring. But the NFL said, no, we're going to mandate that you actually hire a non-white as an offensive assistant. Teams had to do that. The NFL was forcing them to do that. And that's never going to work, guys. It's never going to work. The Rooney Rule by itself is a massive failure. It's been a massive failure for like 20 years. I never liked the Rooney Rule. No one should get a job. Nobody should get an interview based on their race. Just shouldn't. So look here. It says the subpoena compels the NFL to produce extensive records dating back to 2020 and earlier for some items covering the Rooney Rule, the offensive assistant mandate, resolution JC2A, the accelerator program, and the Mackey development program. It seeks internal policies, communications with government agencies, legal challenges, including those tied to the Brian Flores lawsuit, compliance tracking, enforcement actions, and detailed hiring data, including candidate race and sex. Notably, the subpoena zeroes in on how the NFL defines minority, verifies demographic status, and uses race or gender in hiring decisions or incentives. It also demands evidence of the league's intent and justification for these programs. The Florida Attorney General also wants the NFL's communication with the EEOC, United States Department of Justice, or other federal or state agency concerning the Rooney Rule, resolution JC2A, the offensive assistant mandate, the accelerator program, or the Mackey development program. This sweeping investigative demand makes it obvious that the AG is investigating practically every DEI program related to coaching. Well, because there should be no DEI program. There should be zero. If you want a job, go out there, get the job based on your merits, not on your race. It's just that simple, man. It's really, really just that simple. So apparently now the NFL has ended at least one of their racist hiring programs. So it's, while at the same time telling you not to be racist. Man, this upcoming NFL season, man, I don't want to see those in racism and it takes all of us. I don't want to see any of that stuff in the end zone because NFL is telling you don't be racist while at the same time they were telling NFL teams to be racist. Funny how that works. That's just my thoughts on this. What do you guys think of this? Black and white sports fans, let us know what you think about all this in the comments. Make sure to subscribe to the channel. And we'll catch you next time.
Thanks for watching the show. Be sure to like, comment, and subscribe. Be sure to tune in next time on Black and White Sports.